For Dirt Wheels, and we are out at the Kawasaki dealer meeting. We're actually at the right site for the 2024 Kawasaki Ridge and Ridge XR. And right now we're with Tom McGovern, Kawasaki. He's going to give us a little walk around with these new models.
Absolutely. We're really excited about the launch of a new sub-brand for Kawasaki in the Ridge. You know, we already have the Mule utility side-by-side category, and then we also have the Terex Sport side-by-side. This is that mix of work and play with the Ridge. It's got, you know, a little bit of play, a little bit of work, almost party in the front and business in the back.
So to go there.
I did have to go there. But right now we're looking at a Ridge HVAC to give you a little bit of some of the premium features we offer in this, with the full factory design cab. So it was actually designed as part of the chassis. So you see a lot of really good sealing. You're keeping dust out, keeping any of the elements out. We had some rain earlier today out here at our event, and everybody I think will attest how comfortable this cab really is.
Yeah, let me talk about that a minute, because we just got through with the test ride, and I noticed when you shut the door, you really feel how airtight this cab is.
Absolutely, yeah. The goal is to make it so that you feel inside that cabin, and you're protected from the elements. Yeah. To help with that, you know, we have premium features like these power windows, both driver and passenger side.
And this is a real glass window inside these doors.
All 4 glass panels are full glass. So you have the windshield, the back glass, plus the 2 windows are all full auto-rated glass. One of my favorite features on this unit is actually the D-shaped steering wheel. Having driven other of our units with the round steering wheel, I like that D-shape. It really makes it so that when you're out having fun, like we were out in the mud today, it really helped keep the vehicle in control. You'll see we have a premium key here. We go just make it a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit better than your traditional side-by-side key where you go in.
Not as hard to lose.
Not exactly. But I'm guessing they will still get lost. You have your premium shift lever as well, that really makes it very easy, very engaging when you're putting it into gear. It's not a hard shift to do, but it does allow you to really get that positive feel that, okay, I know I'm in gear, whether you're going into reverse, low range, or high range.
Yeah, and I noticed when we were on our test ride today in both the Ridge and the Ridge XR, it's not notchy at all. Very easy.
It's very smooth. And then the HVAC controls up at the top, you'll notice, are very automotive styled. One of the things you'll also notice on them is the size of the knobs. That is for operating them with gloves on. So we thought of that when you're using this. Our owner's manual recommends that we have gloves on, so the knobs are able to easily be manipulated with your gloves on. We also have an updated parking brake from the Mule Pro Series, especially. A lot of people are kind of getting used to that pullback. This is more of a truck style parking brake, where you pull it out this way, and then to release it you just pull it and let it go back in. That really makes it fits really well in the cabin, and also does a really good job of keeping the vehicle where it needs to stay.
Yeah, and then when you actually release it, it kind of slips back into that hole. It's not in the way of your knees or anything like that.
So now that we've talked about the premium cabin, probably my favorite feature on this whole unit, and when the first time I saw it, is the bed release. You have a very sturdy handle right here, and it's a very easy lift. You have the strut on the other side there that helps ease with the lift, and it's dual-sided. So there's a handle on either side, so whether it's a passenger or driver can get out and really get into it and get the dump bed working.
Yeah, much easier than having the dual clamps.
Dual clamps, and walking around the unit. It is a very functional piece.
1,000-pound payload for that bed too. That's impressive for a wreck unit.
That is correct. It is literally the same capacity as our Mule Pro series, both in bed capacity and in towing, with 2,000 pounds of towing.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very well designed unit. And I don't know if you guys got a sneak peek of the engine in there. It is an inline 4 999cc engine. That engine, I don't know how well you could hear it because the cab is pretty soundproof, but it sounds amazing when you're on the throttle on it. Yeah. You get it's a nice jet engine type sound that is really, really appealing to my ear, at least.
The inline 4-cylinder engine, you kept it under 999 cc's, but there are 2 there's differences between the Ridge and the Ridge XR engine output. Tell us about that.
There is. So with the Ridge model, it's more utility based. So it is set at 92 horsepower. Still plenty of power to get the job done, to do anything you need to do. And the Ridge XR, which is more kind of leans to the sport side, it has 116 horsepower.
And both machines have the 3 different power modes.
Correct. The power modes are really fun to play around with. I know on the track I was messing around with it a lot. You have a utility mode, a normal mode, and then the sport mode. And the utility mode gives you a little bit more precise throttle control. Like if you're backing up to a trailer or really maneuvering in a tight spot, you're going to feel a real linear feel on that throttle. And in the sport mode, man, you know what? Go out and have a little bit of fun in that.
Yeah, we didn't get a real good feel for it today, but you can tell that the engine braking on these is fantastic.
So this vehicle has a CVT transmission, much like all our other Kawasaki side-by-sides. Unlike the KRX, it does not have a centrifugal clutch, but the CVT is tuned to have a very similar feeling to that centrifugal clutch, which includes the engine braking. I know we get a lot of kudos for the engine braking on our KRX, and this has a very similar feel for that engine braking. It really is secure as you're driving down hills or steep inclines. You feel a very strong sense of security as you're coming down.
Another function about this that makes it a little more utility focused is the bench seat.
Yeah, the bench seat, and I'm actually going to walk around to the other side and come through the window. One of the things I like about this bench seat a lot is not only do you have seating for 3 passengers, you also have the ability to fold it up, and you have some vertical storage here on the inside of the cab. Say you need to put something inside the cab, you can do that. One of my favorites is my pet dog can always fit it right in here. Right along right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the center console comes down, and you have 2 cup holders as well as a couple trays there, and there's also storage back behind both of these seats. Again, similar to the KRX. With that, probably a really good place to store a little windbreaker or a jacket.
Yeah, you kind of got more of an upright feel in these too. So if you're a guy that does a lot of utility work, constantly in and out, these seats are bolstered for comfort, but it's easy to get into this vehicle.
Absolutely. One of my favorite features of getting into is you have this center grab bar right here. So to step up, you grab that bar and you come right in.
Yeah. Let's talk about the underneath the glove box.
So
connecting accessories.
So underneath the glove box here, slide that out, we actually have a terminal block for connecting accessories. And if you happen to get a Ridge that doesn't come standard with a winch, there's also a second terminal block underneath the right rear, or right by the right rear or right front fender, to connect your winch to directly. So
we are in the Ridge Limited model. This is the lesser horsepower version. I think it's 92 horsepower from the same inline 4 cylinders. Just the ECU programming has been changed up a little bit. The exhaust is slightly different. The Limited is the top of the line Ridge model. You can see you have the 8-inch display right here in the center. This is also a Garmin GPS. All kinds of functions, but this is an upgrade for this model. Anyway, looks like we're about ready to go for a ride. We're in 4-wheel drive. I'm going to kick the power mode to normal, and then we'll see how it does in sport mode with the 92 horse version of this 4-cylinder inline motor. The seating position is definitely much more upright, and the bench seat for guys that are, say you're out mending fences and stuff and in and out of the vehicle quickly, it is so easy to slide in and out of this without effort, you know. So normal power mode is actually pretty responsive for the smaller engine. Both models are governed to 75 miles an hour. See how the suspension does over this pump here. Very plush, dual rate springs, front and rear. The Ridge, standard Ridge models have the, you got 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive selectable here, and then you switch over to the lock version. It locks in your rear differential like a solid rear axle. Whereas the XR model, when you switch it over to the lock feature, it locks in the front and rear axle. The standard Ridge here does not have front locking differential. Let's take it down to sport mode. Acceleration is much more responsive. Like I said, the difference between the two is about 25% in power, but the Ridge with the 92 horsepower setup has actually got plenty of torque and acceleration. It's good.
So now we're taking a look at the Ridge XR model, and this is the HVAC unit as well. So it has the full cab. One way to really easily distinguish between the two, other than the branding on the side here, is you'll see the 30-inch tires as opposed to the 27-inch tires that are on the Ridge model.
So all Ridge models come with some form of a upgraded aluminum wheel too.
Correct. Yeah, everyone has the 14-inch aluminum wheel. The design inside is a little bit different, but just to make them stand out. But yeah, it's both aluminum wheels on both the Ridge and the Ridge XR. The other big thing you'll notice in here is you have bucket seats with a center console as opposed to a three passenger setup. I'm going to come around here on this side, and much like the Ridge model, you have easily adjustable seats. Again, 5 inches of movement, and it's every half inch you can stop it, and that's both driver and passenger. And then you'll have you have 4 cup holders available.
Okay,
for two.
That brings up my next question. When is the four-seater coming?
We are always looking into new and different products for Kawasaki,
There's the corporate answer right there.
and we know there is a want for that. Is the best way to say it. And so you have 4 cup holders here in the center to go along with 2 cup holders on the edge. So if you get thirsty while riding in the Ridge XR, that's all on you, because there's 6 spots for you to have drinks.
And the center console also has a
Opens up
big storage compartment.
And there's tons of storage in there, along with, again, the storage behind the back seat. The glove box is exactly the same, the center storage, and also above the glove box. It's a very, very easily to use area for the cabin, in all trim levels, actually, that you have space for everything you'll possibly need on the trail.
One big feature that differentiates the XR also is the front differential lock.
Correct. So these models will not be available until spring 2024, but they do have, when you go into diff lock, it's not only a rear diff like you see normally, but you also have a front locker as well. So you when you go into diff lock from 4-wheel drive, you will have both the rear and the front locked at the same time, and that's on the fly.
And in the standard Ridge that we just saw, it has just the locking rear differential.
Correct. It also has the same diff lock switch, and the only difference is that there's only a locker on the rear.
Here we are, the big inline 4-cylinder, which is, like we said, 999 cc.
Yeah, it's a really great engine that is Kawasaki developed, and we have a lot of history with inline 4 on our motorcycle side, so that allows us to bring all that knowledge that we've developed over decades to now bring it to the side-by-side world as well with that inline 4. Here on the Ridge XR, like we talked about, it has a little bit more power programmed through the ECU and also in the exhaust system that allows those exhaust gases to escape a little bit better and allow the power to stay up.
This is a little tighter course for us, so we can't test out top speed, but we do know that this machine will do 75 miles an hour. It's governed at 75, which is great. For open desert, getting places quickly. If top speed's a big deal for you, that's optimal for off-road travel. It does accelerate quickly. we're in low range, obviously. But just one more feature that's great to have out in the rocks when you're, doing a very technical descent. It's slow and controlled without having to use the foot brake so much. I like how soft the suspension is in the rough stuff, the rocks back there. One thing I'm not detecting is a whole lot of body roll in the corners. Your passengers are going to love that. Very controlled. Turning is really tough. You can tell it has a very short turning radius. I do like the smaller, it's a D-shaped steering wheel, easy to grip, very high-end looking too. Suspension is very cush. Coming through the rocks back there. Very nice soft buffer. And there's not a whole lot of rattles or anything in the cab. It's definitely very tight. Not getting any wind noise through the doors. These things are well insulated. Again, this is the XR model with the 116 horse tuned 4-cylinder, inline 4 valves per cylinder, 2 intake, 2 exhaust. And the exhaust system actually is on the back side of the motor, so it keeps a lot of excess heat out of the cab and keeps a little on the quiet side. You can still hear the engine. But I could definitely have a conversation with somebody here without having to ask them repeatedly what they're saying or having to yell at each other.